Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Schluntz Gym on the campus of Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you some high school boys basketball competition between Brookline and Wachusett. So you can see over here on my left, you can see the visiting Wachusett Regional High School Mountaineers warming up before the start of this game, while over on my right, you can see the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Official tip-off for this game was supposed to be 5:30 p.m. Well, actually, originally it was supposed to be 6:30 p.m., but then the JV game got canceled, so they only played a freshman game and a varsity game. And so it got moved back from 6:30 to 5:30. And now the starting time has been moved a little bit later because the freshman game just ran a little late. It was a close down-to-the-wire contest, one of those games where the last 2 minutes kind of takes like an hour because it was a one-basket game pretty much throughout. The Brookline freshmen came through with a narrow 38-36 win in the end of that one. And we'll see what the varsity teams have in store for us. Coming into this one, Brookline has been looking very, very impressive so far this season. A 5-0 undefeated start that has them ranked number 6 in the latest Boston Globe poll. That one, that poll as of January 11th. Of course, Brookline moving up one spot from the previous rankings after a big 64-58 win over Newton North. That game was all the way back on January 4th. Since then, Brookline High has had 2 games postponed. They had a game against Framingham that was postponed due to a COVID outbreak, and they had a game slated for earlier this week against Natick that got postponed for the same exact reason. So Brookline certainly happy to be back on the floor, finally with a chance to show what they got. With that in mind, let's take a look at the rosters for the 2 teams coming in today, and let's start us off with the visitors, the Wachusett High Mountaineers. Going in order of jersey number, starting off we have a junior, number 3, Tucker McDonald. A senior, number 4, Theo Stangus. A senior, number 10, Jay Heffernan. A senior, number 11, Adam Bates. A junior, number 12, Jake Chason. A junior, number 13, Aiden McGeary. A senior, number 15, Nick Secone. A senior, number 20, Ethan Katubi. A junior, number 23, Anthony Zingarella. A junior, number 32, Drew Kroos. A junior, number 42, John Witt. A sophomore, number 45, Ethan Bloomquist. And finally, a sophomore, number 55, Grayson Baker. Head coach of the Wachusett High boys basketball team is Tom Gibbons, with assistant coaches Zach Berman, Brian Riley, Corey Haynes, and Jackie Buffoli. So that's the roster for the visiting Wachusett High Mountaineers. Now as we move over to my right, let's take a look at the roster for the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Again, going in order of jersey number, first off, a sophomore, number 1, Andrew Alexeyenko. A senior, number 2, Sean Ebanks. A senior co-captain, number 10, Zach Solom. A senior, number 12, Jake Edwards. A junior, number 14, Taj Horowitz. A junior, number 15, Mikhail Hayes. A junior, number 21, Zach Weissman. A junior, number 22, Jalen Haynes. A senior, number 23, Jaden Mazzara. A senior co-captain, number 25, Devani Perez. A senior, number 33, Jack Stanton. And finally, a senior, number 34, Obi Ukamadu. Head coach of the Brookline High boys basketball team is Courtney Valentine, with assistant coaches Malcolm Wynn, Scott Huggins, and Renato Andrade. So that is the roster for the hosting Brookline High Warriors. As always, if I'm saying anyone's name wrong and you catch me saying someone's name wrong, please let me know in the live chat. I want to give these young men the best possible coverage that I can, so I extend that message to any Brookline fans watching, any Wachusett fans watching. Anything I'm getting wrong, please correct me. And of course, if you want to participate in the live chat, there are plenty of other great reasons to do so. Maybe you just want to give a shout out to your team or to your favorite player. We've already got our first live chat from the Jaster718. Go Warriors. And honestly, it can be as simple as that. You know, I love seeing the audience engagement. I do. And a reminder, as always, if you enjoy the broadcast, be sure to hit that like button. You can subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. I have both this game and Brookline's Sunday afternoon game at Brockton on the docket for the rest of this week. Like I said, you can engage in the live chat. And for now, we got a little less than 7 minutes still left on the pregame clock, so still a little bit of a ways to go. You're probably already noticing some shaking camera from time to time. I'm up in the bleachers right now, and so if anyone stomps their feet, that's just going to cause the camera to shake. Not really anything I can do about it, unfortunately. So if any exciting plays happen and it looks like there's an earthquake, the fans are just excited out here. As limited as the attendance is, again, due to COVID-19 regulations. You know, and same with my audio. You probably notice my voice sounds at least a little bit muffled. I'm doing this broadcast through 2 masks right now just to be extra safe, you know. I never want to be any kind of risk to these kids, these parents, this community at all. You know, I love what I do. It's a privilege getting to do it. And I would never want to be, you know, any kind of a danger. I prefer to be a service, you know, a positive, you know, in these tough times if I can. So for now, we got about 5.5 minutes left. We got our first message from a Wachusett fan, from Ross Baker. Here we go, Wachusett. Once again, Brookline coming in off a pretty thrilling finish. For those of you who follow my live streams, you probably saw, well, at least the second half of that thrilling Newton North game, as I sort of dropped the ball there, wasn't aware of a time change. As we can see, the co-captains meeting up in the center court with the officials before the game starts. But like I said, Brookline, a thrilling win over local rival Newton North in a battle of 2 top 10 ranked teams. Brookline came away with the win 64-58. And they actually went into the final quarter, trailing by about 1 or 2. They had just blown a sizable lead, but they came through clutch in the fourth, led by some valiant efforts from number 15, Mikhail Hayes, who finished with a game-high 16 points, 9 of which came during a 2-minute fourth quarter stretch where he led the Warriors on an 11-2 run that brought it from a 47-all tie to a 58-49 lead for Brookline, a lead they would hold for the rest of the game. But just because Mikhail Hayes was the star last time doesn't mean you can predict at all who the star is going to be for Brookline tonight. It's a very balanced team. There's no one guy really with this team. Sometimes you see stuff like Mikhail Hayes slashing it up to the hoop and creating all kinds of opportunities for himself, and he takes over. Sometimes Andrew Alexienko has a big size mismatch, and he's able to dominate down low. He put up 21 points in the holiday tournament against Everett. Devani Perez and Zach Solom, the co-captains, both have some smooth shots from the outside. Devani Perez has been very consistent of late. He's scored exactly 11 points in each of the team's last 2 games. He's been operating as a great secondary scoring option of late, but he could very easily become that primary option if he gets hot. There's a lot of different guys you got to watch out for with this Brookline team, and that's exactly how Coach Courtney Valentine wants it. That's the kind of team that he loves to build here in Brookline, the kind that is very well balanced, where any guy could take over, where the scoring is generally pretty well spread out amongst all the starters and the reserves off the bench. You never know what you're going to get with a Brookline game. But also you can't necessarily count out Wachusett. I believe it was a year or 2 ago that Wachusett head coach Tom Gibbons recorded his 300th career win. So, plenty of history of strength with this Wachusett program. They may not be ranked in the Globe rankings. As I said, Brookline ranked number 6 in the Boston Globe rankings that came out 3 days ago. But you never know what you're going to get. That's why you play the game out on the court. We got some comments in here from Elizabeth Differ, Go Get It Warriors. From Donnell O'Neill, Jesse the Goat. I see you, Donnell. And honestly, I hope to see you out on the diamond come spring season. Donnell, of course, another Brookline athlete, and he's shown a lot of skill both on the baseball diamond and the gridiron. So that's a young man I'm looking forward to covering for a few more years to come. From Basketball Edits 4325, Let's Go Warriors. The Jaster 718 is back at it with Yeah Devani. And then Edits 4325 back at it. My favorite player is number 14, Taj Horowitz. He plays with so much intensity. And I absolutely agree, and that's one of the things I love about this team. They've got some great reserves on the bench. They might not be as talented as the starters, but they know how to scrap. They bring that sixth man energy, which is exactly what you want with your team's depth pieces. PA announcer taking over. We'll get starting lineups, the national anthem, and then the start of this game. And the Jaster, you are absolutely correct. Taj is also a state champion soccer player with the boys soccer team. You can identify those state champs easily. Just look for that dyed blonde hair.
And respect for all in attendance. Ensure that your behaviors reflect the values that should be identified with these student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon a school or security official.
Here come the starting lineups. We start off with Wachusett. We start off with number 3, Tucker McDonald.
Senior number 4, Theo Stangus.
And then number 4, Theo Stangus.
Senior number 11, Adam Bates.
Number 11, Adam Bates.
Junior number 12, Jake Chason.
Number 12, Jake Chason.
Sophomore number 55, Grayson Baker.
And then lastly, number 55, Grayson Baker. And now we move over to Brookline's starting lineup. First starter for Brookline is number 1, Andrew Alexeyenko. Next up is number 15, Mikhail Hayes. Next up is number 33, Jack Stanton. And now we get the co-captains first. Number 10, Zach Solom. And then lastly, number 25, Devani Perez. And now here comes the national anthem, and then we'll have the opening tip. All right, after the playing of our national anthem, we are now ready to get this one underway. Getting ready for the jump ball between Brookline's Andrew Alexeyenko and Wachusett's Grayson Baker. Pair of tall sophomores taking the tip for these two teams here today. Here's the tip-off. It goes to Perez, and here we go. Devani Perez dribbling off the left wing. Looking around, swings it over to Zach Solom. Solom dribbles in, passes over to Alexeyenko. Alexeyenko dribbles back and resets as he gives it to Perez. Perez looking around. Long pass over to Hayes on the right wing. Hayes throws it down low to Alexeyenko. Alexeyenko turns around, kicks it out to a wide-open Perez for three. Swish! Great ball movement from Brookline to start this one off. Jake Chason bringing it up for Wachusett. Nice spin move, drives to the hoop, goes for the lay-in, and he hits it. Jake Chason quickly makes it a 3-2 score with some nice moves to the hoop. Hayes now bringing it up for Brookline. Passes over to Perez. Perez dribbles around a pick. Now throws it to Alexienko. Alexienko for the layup, and one. The simple pick and roll. You know, with how many years that play has been around and how simple the structure of it is, you'd think it'd be easier to defend, but it keeps being used because it keeps working. And that was just one example of it right there. Andrew Alexienko with his first 2 points of the day. And he's going for a third. 5-2 currently the Brookline lead. And it stays that way. Free throw off the mark. It was rebounded by number 11, Adam Bates, and now he brings up the ball. Swings a pass over. Now sent up top to number 4, Theo Stangus. Now back over to Bates. Bates looking around. Passes it back over to Stangus. Stangus dribbling up top, passes over to to Chason. Now kicks it out to Bates. Bates fires from 3, no good. Battle for the rebound won by Chason. Chason scrambling for it, and it's ultimately recovered by Solom. Now given to Perez. Perez running in transition, decides to kick it out to Solom. Solom for 3, no good. Rebound by Stanton. Stanton backs down, goes for the shot, no good. Own rebound, put back for Jack Stanton. And now, a scramble, and it looks like this is going to be a turnover. Great on-ball defense from Mikhail Hayes, forces a mistake from number 3, Tucker McDonald. And we've already got a timeout called by Wachusett after a sloppy turnover there. So Brookline off to a good start. Positive results in their first 3 offensive possessions. We had the 3 from Devani Perez as a result of some very good and patient ball movement that set up Perez for a wide open 3 from the left wing. Second offensive possession, it was just a simple pick and roll between Perez and Andrew Alexienko, who finished the layup, couldn't quite add the free throw, but still got 2 points out of it. And then on this most recent one, they set up an open shot for Solom. He didn't quite hit the 3, but Jack Stanton with a nice offensive rebound, a nice post move that resulted in no foul call. And then after he missed his initial layup attempt, he got the putback. You know, Jack Stanton is a guy that I feel like just the few games I've covered, he's a guy that can very easily sort of vanish into the background because he is just one of those, you know, kind of gritty role players down low. Might not get the highest stats, but deserves credit for the presence he provides in the post. 7-2, the Brookline lead. Inbound goes to Mikhail Hayes as we resume after the timeout. Given over to Solom. Down low to Hayes. What a nice give and go. Mikhail Hayes now on the scoreboard with 2 points. 9-2, the Brookline lead. This is Chason dribbling in. Kicks it out. And now McDonald looking for it. Pass to Chason. Now over to the corner. Fires for 3. No good. Rebound collected by Bates. Throws it way up top to McDonald after the missed shot from Stangus. Couple passes. Now driving in is Chason, and he's blocked, but not cleanly. That foul is going to be on Zach Solom, first for Brookline. And now Jake Chason, who represents the only 2 points on the board for Wachusett so far, goes to the line. First free throw is good. And now entering the game for Wachusett, number 13, Aiden McGeary. He replaces Grayson Baker. And meanwhile, we get a substitution for Brookline. Number 23, Jaden Mazzara checks in, replacing Jack Stanton. So both teams going a little smaller with their substitutions. And now Chason getting ready for his second of 2 free throws. And this one, unlucky rim roll, and rebound is collected by Perez. Perez dribbling with it. Now swings it over to Hayes. Hayes from the right wing. Oh, 3 from Mikhail Hayes. A man right in his face, and he didn't care. Brookline off to a dominant start. Wachusett looking around. McDonald passes over to the wing. Another pass. And now Bates sends it up top to Stangus. Stangus dribbling around, throws it over to Bates. Bates looking around, starts to dribble in from the wing, goes for the lay-in, and is blocked, but again, not cleanly. 12-3, the Brookline lead here in the first quarter. 5:05 on the clock, and that is Brookline's second foul this half. This one on Devani Perez. And now number 11, Adam Bates, will be shooting 2. First one is good. 12-4 now the score, and we've got another substitution for Wachusett. This is number 23, Anthony Zingarella, as he replaces number 12, Jake Chason. Or no, that my mistake. It wasn't Chason he replaced, it was Stangus. Second free throw is good, that makes it 5. Brookline breaks out of the press, long pass to Hayes, keeps it in bounds. Alexeyenko from 3, no good. Rebound collected by Hayes. Brookline resets the play. Hayes dribbles in, kicks it out to an open Perez. Perez pump fakes, dribbles, step back, throw over to Hayes, juggled but recovered. Hayes looking, throws it down low to Alexeyenko. He decides to pull up for a jumper, no good. Rebound by Wachusett. McDonald dribbling with it. Now gives it over to Chason, now over to the wing to Zingarella, now over to McGeary, and now to Bates. Now back to Zingarella. Zingarella dribbling with it, starts to drive in, kicks it out to McDonald. McDonald comes in, goes for a running floater, no good, well defended by Perez. Rebound Zingarella, kicks it to McDonald, now outside for 3, no good again. Rebound by Mazzara. That last shot from Chason, no good. Mazzara's pass almost picked off, but instead it's collected by Solom. Kicks it out to Perez. Perez for another 3, and Perez hits it again. Devani Perez now at 6 points here in the first quarter on a pair of 3s. Dribbling in is Chason. Kicks it out. Open 3 from Bates, no good. Rebound by Perez. Perez bringing it up. Dribbling, almost dribbles himself out, passes it over to Alexeyenko. Alexeyenko has it poked away out of bounds, and they're going to say last touched by Brookline. We got a couple of subs checking in for Wachusett. Stangus comes back in, as well as I think I heard number 15, Nick Secone. And for Brookline, number 12, Jake Edwards checks into the game. McDonald passes it across half court. And now another pass poked away from Zingarella. This is Edwards. Edwards pulling up wide open from 3. No good. Offensive rebound not collected. It's taken by Wachusett. Pass to McDonald. McDonald in transition. Spin move. Goes for the layup. Blocked by Perez. Recovered by Solom, and he's running in transition. And he pulls back and gives it to Perez as they reset. Now throw down low off the backboard. And it's recovered by McDonald again in transition. This time with the patience, he finishes the fast break lay-in. Now Perez trying to throw a Hail Mary to Mazzara, and this time they connect. Brookline bringing those fast passes from Devani Perez, who's been having a very strong first quarter. 17-7, the Brookline lead. McDonald kicks it outside. Dribbling in is Zingarella. Kicks it out to McDonald. McDonald fires for the mid-range jumper. No good. And a foul on the rebound. That foul is going to be on Tucker McDonald, his second. Now Chason checks back in for Wachusett, while seeing the floor for the first time for Brookline will be number 14, Taj Horowitz. 2:23 left here in the first. 17-7, the Brookline lead. As another new substitution, Jalen Haynes, brings up the ball for the Warriors. Haynes looking around, passes over to Mazzara. Mazzara dribbling around, surveying his options, almost loses track of the ball but recovers. Still dribbling. Now he's got an open three, and off the mark, no good. Haynes, the offensive board, tries to throw it to Alexienko. Alexienko almost gets trapped but kicks it out to Haynes. Haynes from three, no good again. Rebound by Zingarella. And they're going to call the foul on Horowitz. Andrew Alexienko, the only starter left on the floor for Brookline right now. As that'll be Brookline's third foul of the half and first of the day for Horowitz. Inbound goes to Chason. Chason looking around and gives it to Stangus, but now Stangus' pass poked away by Mazzara, thrown to Horowitz. Horowitz, the contested lay-in, no foul call, and Wachusett takes it away. Well defended by Zingarella. Now Chason in transition, kicks it out to the corner. No good. That shot was from Zingarella, as now it's stolen away by Chason. He could not get it back, though, before it went out of bounds. So my mistake, that block was from number 13, Aiden McGeary on the other end. Still 17-7, minute and a half left. Brookline now trying to bust the press. Haynes' pass is intercepted. Pass over to Chason. Chason pumps, drives in, goes for the contested lay-in. No good, but draws the foul. That foul is going to be on Jake Edwards, his first, Brookline's fourth. Chason now at the line to shoot two. Minute 17 in the first. Score is Brookline 17, Wachusett 7. And Brookline has got their other four starters ready to check back in. First free throw is in. And Brookline a mass of substitutions, including Mikhail Hayes, Zach Solom, Devani Perez, and Jack Stanton. So the only one who stays in there is Jalen Haynes. As Chason gets ready for free throw number 2. Free throw number 2 is good. 17-9 now the Brookline lead. Perez looking around, gives it into Solom. Solom attempted pass, stolen away again. And now Wachusett trying to go down low, no good. Another rebound by Perez. Perez running in transition now, and he decides to turn back around. Dribbles around a pick and roll to Stanton, and Stanton finishes. 19-9, and Devani Perez doing it all. Points, rebounds, and assists. Wachusett now trying to answer back in the closing seconds. Stangus passes it over to Zingarella. Zingarella dribbles in, goes for the lay-in. Nice move to the hoop by Anthony Zingarella to make it 19-11. Brookline again working against the press. And Hayes gets it across half court, passes to Solom, back out to Hayes. Hayes swings it over to Perez. Less than 30 seconds left in the quarter. Over to Solom. Solom for three. Hits it! Zach Solom, his first 3 points of the game, makes it 22-11. Chason gives it over to Zingarella. 10 seconds left in the quarter here, as it looks like Wachusett's looking for the last shot of the quarter. Zingarella dribbles in, tries to drive in, goes for the shot, no good, but draws the foul. So that'll be the first on Stanton, 5th for Brookline. And I do believe all 5 of Brookline's fouls have come from different players so far. First free throw from Zingarella rolls off the rim, no good. Just 1.7 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. So after this second free throw, it'll probably just be one last throw at the hoop, and then we'll go to our first quarter break. That free throw is good. Thrown into Perez, and he's just going to hold it. We are through one here at Schluntz Gym in Brookline, Massachusetts. The score, the Brookline High Warriors 22, the Wachusett High Mountaineers 12. This broadcast is brought to you in part by Music Go Round, New England's largest retailer of used musical equipment. Located on Route 9 in Natick, Music Go Round prides itself on the quality of its used products and the fair prices it offers to its customers, whether they're buying, selling, or trading in their gear. Reuse, recycle, and rock. Visit Music Go Round, located on Route 9 in Natick, or go online at mgrboston.com to find out more. Once again, that's mgrboston.com. Stop by, have some fun, and be sure to thank them for sponsoring this broadcast. We return to the floor for the second quarter now. Brookline with a 10-point lead, 22-12 against Wachusett. Zingarella inbounds it to Chason as Wachusett gets the opening possession. Chason gives it over to Stangus, now over to Bates. Bates hands it off to McGeary. McGeary looking around, decides to give it over to Bates. Now Bates swings it over to Stangus, and now over to McGeary in the corner. McGeary dribbling in, goes for the European step there, but no good. Rebound again by Perez. Perez has been everywhere so far today as he kicks it over to Hayes in the corner. Hayes throws it down low, but just poked away by McGeary. Almost an open look for the layup for Jack Stanton, who has 4 points already. Of course, Perez, the leading scorer for Brookline so far, with 6. Inbound coming from Solom, throws it into Stanton. Stanton backing down, and we got a foul call against Stanton. I think they're saying he threw an elbow while he was backing down. Second foul on the day for Stanton, 6th for Brookline. And Andrew Alexienko comes in to replace Stanton after the foul. Inbound goes to Zingarella. Anthony Zingarella dribbling it for the Mountaineers. Looking around, passes it over to Bates. Adam Bates decides to dribble back up top. Now swings a pass over to Theo Stangus. Stangus passes it back to Zingarella. Zingarella looking around, gives it over to Aiden McGeary. Now up top to Jake Chason. No, that's Bates, my mistake. And Bates draws the foul on Perez. Whoa! So we got a couple players in each other's faces now. And we got a couple of subs now checking in. For Brookline, number 23, Jaden Mazzara, returns to the floor, and number 2, Sean Ebanks, seeing the floor for the first time for Brookline, as Adam Bates will be shooting the bonus for Wachusett, as that was Brookline's 7th foul. First of the 1-and-1 is good, and so he'll be shooting another. That makes the score 22-13, as that's the first point of the second quarter. As now number 12, Jake Chason, comes in for Wachusett, replacing number 4, Theo Stangus. Second free throw is good. Bates goes 2 for 2, makes it 22-14. Inbound goes to Mazzara, pass back to Solom. Solom to Hayes. Hayes across half court. Hayes still dribbling with it up top. Starts to dribble in and stops and travels. Bates inbounds to Zingarella, still 22-14 the score. Zingarella across half court for Wachusett. Fakes and then throws it over, and do we have another foul call? I mean, if that's a foul, shouldn't they go to the line for the bonus? I have no idea what just happened. Well, after whatever that was, Wachusett has an inbound. Goes to Chason. Chason throws it over to McDonald. McDonald dribbles in, recovers the loose ball, and goes for the layup. Tucker McDonald almost had it stolen away, but gets the lucky recovery and throws it in. Long pass to Hayes, now a pass to Ebanks. Oh, but he took his eye off the ball and couldn't recover it. Instead, it's Zingarella running in transition, passes it over, now driving in, going for an awkward layup, almost hits it, and off the loose ball, dives after it, can't reach it. A valiant effort from Adam Bates for the Mountaineers, but nothing doing. 22-16 as Wachusett is opened with a 4-0 run. Long pass from Solom is deflected and intercepted by Zingarella. McDonald was the one who got the reach. Almost a backcourt. Oh, they didn't get across. The Wachusett coaches don't like that call. They thought Zingarella was in the air when he caught the ball and he landed across half court. But the officials say no, it was a backcourt violation, Brookline ball. Mikhail Hayes passes off the foot of Chason. So that'll be a kickball, and it looks like we got a couple subs checking in for Brookline. Number 12, Jake Edwards, and number 14, Taj Horowitz, replacing Sean Ebanks and Zach Solom. Horowitz looking for the inbound, throws it across to Mazzara. Mazzara quickly from three, no good. And the rebound is picked up by Wachusett. Now Tucker McDonald running in transition, goes for the layup and hits it. A 6-0 run to open for the Mountaineers, and Brookline calls timeout. This feels like a movie I've seen before. Brookline jumps out to a strong early lead, but then starts to coast a bit, and the other team takes advantage. Brookline entered this quarter with a 10-point lead, but the Mountaineers have gone on a 6-0 run through the first 2.5 minutes. (22-18) currently the score. And it seems while I've been doing this, we've got a lot of action in the live chat, a lot of support and rooting for the Brookline Warriors, and particularly for Devani Perez, who has been delivering one of the most well-rounded efforts I've seen. Very good early start, racking up points, rebounds, and assists. Unfortunately, while I'm operating the camera and calling play-by-play, I've only been able to keep track of points so far. He has a team leading 6 points at this stage. Mikhail Hayes with 5, Jack Stanton with 4, Zach Solom with 3, while Andrew Alexienko and Jaden Mazzara have 2 each. Coming out of the timeout, Coach Courtney Valentine will be looking for some adjustments from his team after a, let's call it a rough start to the second quarter. Working against the press, this is Alexienko. Dribbles across half court, now kicks it out to Mazzara. Mazzara pump fakes, dribbles in, goes for the jumper, no good. Battle for the rebound is last touched by Wachusett. And now checking in for Brookline, number 22, Jalen Haynes. He replaces Mazzara. Horowitz looking for the inbound. Needs an option, needs it now, and he doesn't get it in time. A 5-second violation, and it goes back to Wachusett. Now checking in for Wachusett is number 3, Tucker McDonald. As Wachusett gets ready to inbound, the inbound goes to Zingarella. Zingarella dribbling it across half court, and now hands it over. And now a pass to Bates. Adam Bates dribbling with it, and he travels. Now for Wachusett checking in, number 13, Aiden McGeary. He replaces McDonald. Inbound goes to Mikhail Hayes. He starts dribbling, kicks it out to Horowitz. Horowitz from the corner, no good. Battle for the board, won by Haynes. Haynes now kicks it out to Hayes. Hayes has it poked away, but he recovers. Dribbles along the baseline. His pass intercepted by Zingarella. Zingarella running in transition, running to the hoop. Awkward shot, no good, no foul call. Recovered by Alexienko. Alexienko running in transition. He tries to run to the hoop, no good, again, no foul. Rebound by Seacone. Couple of quick passes now. Zingarella going in, goes for the shot. No good, and a blocking foul called, and Brookline is not happy. Jake Edwards was looking for that charge call the whole way, but he did not get it. Tried to take the charge. He might have just leaned back a little bit. It can be so hard to stay perfectly still. As now Anthony Zingarella will go to the line, shooting 2 for Wachusett. Brookline still yet to score in this quarter. First free throw from Zingarella is good, 22-19, as Devani Perez checks back in for Brookline, while Theo Stangus comes back in for Wachusett. Zingarella free throw number 2 is good. It is now a 2-point game, an 8-0 run for the Mountaineers. Perez bringing it up for Brookline. Kicks it over to Edwards. Edwards dribbling, hits a defender and throws it over to Perez. Now over to Alexienko. Alexienko from 3. Oh, he hits it with a man in his face. Brookline needed that basket, and they now break the run and increase the lead back up to 5. Bates now holding it on the wing, dribbles and passes it over to McGeary. Now a handoff and a throw up top to Chason. Chason dribbling, starts to drive in, goes to the hoop, no good, loose ball, rebound, oh no, foot was out of bounds. Well defended by Andrew Alexienko, who now has 5 points on the day after that big three-pointer. Perez brings it up, dribbling around, crosses up, pass to Haynes. Haynes from the corner, no good. Loose ball rebounded by Horowitz, kicked out to Edwards, now over to Alexienko. Alexienko steps in, runs in, no good. Battle for the board, won by Haynes. Haynes going for the second chance. Jalen Haynes with the hustle for 2. 27-20 now the Brookline lead. And we got a foul called now against Haynes. So that'll be first for Haynes, 9th for Brookline, as Wachusett will be shooting the bonus. Tucker McDonald checks back in for Wachusett, replacing Jake Chason. And it'll be Zingarella back at the line, shooting the 1 and 1. .3:15 left here in the first half. Brookline leads by 7. First free throw is good, as Zingarella breaks the 5-0 run Brookline had going on, as Zach Solom checks back in, replacing Jake Edwards. 27-21. Second free throw is also good. 27-22, as checking in now will be number 15, Nick Seacone, for Wachusett. He replaces Aiden McGeary. Perez bringing it across half court for the Warriors. Looking up top, throws it to Horowitz. Horowitz over to Haynes. Haynes along 2. No good off the front rim. Rebound by Seacone. Couple quick passes as they run in transition. This is Stangus holding it in the corner. Passes it back out to Zingarella. Zingarella kicks it out to Stangus. Stangus the long 3. No good. Loose ball. Rebound chased down by Solom and thrown back into Perez. Perez running in transition. Pulls up for a 3. No good. Rebound Solom. He puts it back easily. Solom now with 5 points to make it 29-22. McDonald throws it in, poked away, recovered by Horowitz. Gives it to Alexienko. Alexienko running in transition, 2 steps to the hoop, no good. Rebound by Wachusett, now they're running in transition. McDonald throws a pass, caught, goes to the hoop, layup, no good. Rebound by Horowitz. Zingarella couldn't quite finish around the awkward angle, well defended by Brookline. Horowitz hands it off to Solom. Solom looking around, throws it to Perez. Perez, the 3 from the wing, no good. Rebound, almost yes by Alexienko. Throws it up top to Perez. Perez, the mid-range, hits that one. Devani Perez now with a team leading 8 points so far today, and his team leads 31-22. McDonald dribbling up top, looking around, swings it over to Bates. Bates, a pass, now an open lane for Seacone, goes for the layup, and he hits that one. Now Perez brings it up 31-24, just over a minute left in the quarter. Perez dribbles in, tries to kick it out, poked away out of bounds, and it'll stay with Brookline. Brookline's lead has gone from 10 to 2 to 9, and now currently at 7 as Mikhail Hayes checks back in, replacing Taj Horowitz. Inbound to Hayes. Hayes dribbling from the top, starts to dribble, gives it over to Solom. Solom dribbling across, gives it to Perez. Perez pulls up for a long 2, front rim, no good. Rebound, scooped up by Wachusett. Pass to Bates, quick pass to Seacone. Seacone's pass out of bounds. Solom a quick inbound to Hayes. 50 seconds left here in the second quarter. Brookline a 7-point lead. Hayes holding it, gives it to Solom. Solom looking around from the right wing. Starts to dribble, pulls up for the long 2, and gets the rim bounce. 33-24 off the long jumper from Solom. Now this is Chason dribbling with it for Wachusett. Hands it off. This is Zingarella. Zingarella drives in, kicks it out. Now thrown out to McDonald. McDonald dribbles around a pick, is picked up, and draws a foul on Solom. Second foul on the day for Zach Solom. 10 fouls now for Brookline in the half. That'll be the double bonus. Just 2 fouls on Wachusett so far this half. Tucker McDonald shooting the double bonus. First free throw is no good, as Jaden Mazzara comes in replacing Devani Perez for the final 9.6 seconds of the second quarter. McDonald at the line for his second free throw. No good. He misses them both, but did they just call another foul or a lane violation or something? What just happened? I think they just called a lane violation on Brookline, which means that McDonald will get to shoot his second free throw again. Second one, no good, and they called a lane violation again. They're saying Brookline is running too early. So McDonald with free throw number 2, version 3. And this time just rebounded by Alexienko, thrown over to Haynes. Haynes dribbling across half court, just seconds left, and he gets trapped. Throws it over to Hayes. Hayes dribbles, fires, no good. That will end the first half. The score, The Brookline Warriors 33, the Wachusett Mountaineers 24. Now as we go into the break, first a word from our sponsors. First, from Harvest Wealth Management. We have a message for all you parents out there listening to the game who are thinking about how you are going to pay for college for your young student athletes. It is never too early to start planning for college, especially if you think you will need financial aid. The average cost of a private four-year college in the U.S. today is over $50,000 a year. And if your student is interested in one of the many top-tier colleges here in the Boston area, the cost could exceed $70,000 a year. But don't despair. There are many financial aid and other college funding strategies available to you to reduce your out-of-pocket college costs by tens of thousands of dollars per child per year. But you need to start early, be proactive, and learn the financial aid rules to take advantage of these strategies. Harvest Wealth Management of Needham, Massachusetts can help you realize your student's college dream. Harvest Wealth Management is a full-service financial planning firm. They specialize in helping families with college-bound children maximize their financial aid and utilize other tax-driven strategies to reduce college costs. For many families in the middle class today, it is impossible to save enough for their children's college education. But Harvest Wealth Management believes it is not about saving more for college, but paying less. They can design a customized college funding strategy for your child and lead you through the financial aid process, which can be confusing and where mistakes can be costly. So don't stress. Call Oliver Shawley at Harvest Wealth Management, 781-902-0981, and ask for a complimentary meeting, or visit them online at harvestwm.com to learn more. Again, that is Harvest Wealth Management, LLC, at 75 2nd Avenue, Suite 420, Needham, Massachusetts, 02494. Call 781-902-0981, or go online at harvestwm.com. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. Now a word from our other sponsor, Music Go Round. Music Go Round is the largest retailer of used musical equipment in New England and is the perfect place to go for both buying and selling used gear. Music Go Round prides itself on the quality of its used products, which are all tested and retested to ensure they're in great working condition and sold at a great price. And when you bring in your own equipment to sell or to trade, the store's certified buyers will offer you a fair price. They will explain the basis of the offer and even tell you how much they hope to resell it for, operating on a model of complete transparency. Reuse, recycle, and rock. Visit Music Go Round, located at 810 Worcester Street on Route 9 in Natick, or call the store for more information at 508-647-6874. Once again, that's 810 Worcester Street in Natick, or call 508-647-6874. And be sure to thank the folks at Music Go Round for sponsoring this broadcast. And now for a little local charity shout-out. I'll talk to you a little bit about the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry saw a huge increase in demand for food assistance at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that number, unfortunately, has not gone back down. Since March of 2020, the food pantry serves an average of 650 to 700 households each week, more than 4 times the rate of families served pre-COVID. The Brookline Food Pantry is fighting the good fight to end hunger in our community, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Brookline, on Wednesdays from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and on Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Visit brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can help the Brookline Food Pantry to feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And remember, as always, you can find helpful information in the description section of this video just below. You can find information about our paying sponsors, Music Go Round and Harvest Wealth Management, as well as our local charity, the Brookline Food Pantry. You can also find If you keep scrolling through that description, you can find a link to my own personal website, jessesports.com, my email address if you would like to contact me directly and ask about my services, a link to my Instagram account as well. I usually post some highlights from recent games that I covered on my Instagram account the next day. And yeah, for now, halftime, Brookline 33, Wachusett 24. I'll be taking a brief break, just going off my headset for a sec, but I will be back for the start of the third quarter. Stay tuned.
Clear the court, please. Clear the court.
And I'm back. Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Schlentz Gym on the campus of Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts, here to bring you the second half of this high school boys basketball contest between the visiting Wachusett High Mountaineers, seen over here on my right in the green jerseys with black jersey numbers, and the hosting 6th-ranked Brookline High Warriors, seen here on my left with the white jerseys and blue jersey numbers. Going into the second half, Brookline has a 33-24 advantage after overall playing pretty much even in a second quarter that was really a quarter of streaks. We saw Wachusett open with an explosive 8-0 run that almost completely erased Brookline's 10-point advantage entering the quarter. But Brookline found its form and outscored Wachusett the rest of the way, 11-4, resulting in a net loss of 1 point in that quarter. And one thing I know the fans have noticed, the disparity in foul calls in that first half. 10 fouls against Brookline, 2 against Wachusett. You know, I don't know that there were really any particularly egregious bad calls. I mean, the multiple lane violation calls at the end of the half were a little weird, you know. But at the end of the day, I didn't see anything too egregiously bad. I definitely saw some calls and I saw plenty of non-calls on both sides. at more physical points in the game. But I think a large part of it is just Brookline has played more aggressively and more physically. And I think, honestly, that's part of why they have this lead. So hard to knock it when that's the play style they go for. You know, I got nothing against people complaining about officiating in the live chat. You know, I just always operate on a philosophy of you got to have respect for the guys in stripes, because there's a national shortage of them, and if you don't treat them with respect, they'll walk, and then what are we going to do? So that's just me personally, but I can definitely understand the frustration from the side of Brookline fans as we get ready to start this second half. Brookline 33, Wachusett 24. Co-captain Zach Solom, who had 7 points in the first half, getting ready to inbound. He sends it over to Mikhail Hayes. Hayes had 5 points of his own in the first half as he swings it over to the team's leading scorer, Devani Perez. He has 8 so far tonight. Give back over to Hayes. Hayes dribbling, starts to dribble in, backing down, and decides to just give it back out to Solom. Solom drives through a hole, goes for the shot, no good. Rebound for a second by Andrew Alexienko, and it looks like Alexienko might have drawn a foul. So first foul of the second half goes against Wachusett, and it goes against number 11, Adam Bates. Solom along inbound to Perez. A throw over to a Stanton that wasn't looking as Solom recovered, but we've got a whistle for something. Brookline lost the ball. Not sure why. But now Anthony Zingarella dribbling with it, almost loses it backcourt, but just barely keeps it past the line. Throws it over, and a quick pass around the baseline. Shot from the corner, no good. The attempted three as they missed an open Alexienko on the transition, but now a long pass deflected and lost out of bounds. That's going to go right back to Wachusett. Inbound to Zingarella. Zingarella brings it across half court. Pass goes over to Saccone. Saccone throws it into the key to Tucker McDonald. McDonald starts dribbling in. Blocked by Alexienko. Recovered by Hayes, and he runs in transition. Still running with it. Kicks it out to Solom. Solom for three. No good. Rebound by Jake Chason. Chason running with it. Trying to find a lane. He gets trapped, but gets out of it. Throws it over to Saccone. Saccone dribbles in. Oh, a hard hit at the end there, but a foul was called before he went for the shot. That foul is going to be against Zach Solom. That's his third, Brookline's first of the second half. And now Solom, starting to get into foul trouble, checks out in favor of Jaden Mazzara. McDonald looking around. Inbounds to Theo Stangus. Stangus from the corner for three, and he hits it. Big three-pointer for Theo Stangus. Cuts the lead down to 6 to start the second half. Perez gives it over to Mazzara. Back to Perez. Perez, the open jumper, no good, unlucky rim roll, but Stanton fighting for the rebound. Jack Stanton to the hoop, no good. He gets his own rebound, gets blocked, goes for the layup. This time he hits it. Wait. Okay, I'm thoroughly confused about what just happened. Did they just call no basket? The points are on the board. It's 35-27. I am confused. Theo Stangus from three, no good. Rebound by Perez. Loose ball poked away, but Perez recovers. And now escapes from the trap. Now he's running in transition. Pass to Mazzara, back to Alexienko. Alexienko kicks it out to an open Mazzara from the corner, no good. And we've got another whistle. That one is on Chason on Wachusett, his first, Wachusett's second. And now number 15, Nick Saccone, checks in for Wachusett. Mazzara looking around, floats one into Alexienko, and he fires from 3. No good. Rebound recovered by Wachusett. Now this is Chason running with it. Kicks it up top to Saccone. Saccone decides to fire from up top, airballs it, and lost out of bounds. So, okay, the basket from Stanton definitely counted. So he's now got 6 points today, and Brookline's first 2 points of the second half because the scoreboard's not changing. 35-27. I don't know what happened there. We've had some confusing whistles to start the second half, but here we are. Stanton now holding the ball on the wing, throws it down low to Alexienko. Alexienko battling, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Alexienko just pushed a little too hard when backing down against his opponent. That'll be his first foul, Brookline's second. Now Chason bringing it up for the Mountaineers. Hands it off to Zingarella. Zingarella pass over to Bates. Now over to Stangus, I believe. Stangus kicks it out to Zingarella. Zingarella dribbling back to the wing. Starts to dribble to the middle. Breaks in, poked away by Hayes. Stanton throws it to Hayes. Hayes dribbling in transition. Tried to get a little too fancy there. Stolen away by Wachusett. McDonald now holding the ball in the corner. Starting to get trapped. Passes away to Chason. A couple quick passes. Quick pass back to Chason. Chason for 3. No good. Rebound by Perez. Perez now dribbling with it. He starts to drive in. Running floater. Hits it. Devani Perez now in double figures with 10 points today. As Wachusett pushes through, and that's an offensive foul on Jake Chason. Second foul call on Chason, third for Wachusett this half. They've already surpassed their total for the first half in less than 4 minutes. As Aiden McGeary checks in for Wachusett. Mazzara dribbling with it for Brookline. Throws it into Alexienko, floats it up for Stanton. Stanton going for an awkward layup, almost hits it, but no good. Zingarella running in transition, a pass, McDonald going in, awkward shot, no good, well defended by Alexienko, and Mikhail Hayes recovers the loose ball, gives it to Perez. Long pass for Alexienko, he's going up, Alexienko with the earthquake! 39-27, and we got a timeout called by the Mountaineers. So some quick moves from Brookline on that last play. First, Alexienko with some nice defense on the layup. Nice and clean, didn't try and go for the highlight block. You know, just made sure it was a tough enough shot that he wasn't going to hit it. And then a battle for the loose ball was won by Hayes. He quickly got rid of it before he could get trapped. And then Perez saw the long pass for Alexienko. And Alexienko's man tried to go for the ball instead of him. And so Alexienko just had a wide open lane. And when Andrew Alexienko has an open lane to the basket, he's going to dunk it. You know, this isn't the first time I've seen him go for a dunk this season. You know, he'll go for that every time. So Andrew Alexienko with that one, he now has 7 points today. Devani Perez, still the leading scorer for Brookline with 10 so far, while Alexienko and Solom have 7 apiece. Jack Stanton with a very hard-fought 6 points. And Mikhail Hayes with 5 to round out the starting lineup. Just 4 points off the bench for Brookline, an unusually low number of bench points for them, as they've got 2 points apiece from Jaden Mazzara and Jalen Haynes. But either way, they do have a 39-27 lead with 3:38 left here in the third. Inbound goes to McDonald. McDonald dribbling, throws it over to the corner. Now dribbling with it. That was Bates, gives it over. Now dribbling down low, going for the awkward shot. Zingarella hits the layup off a nice turnaround off the back down. 39-29, Perez passes it to Mazzara. Mazzara decides to kick it to Alexienko from the corner, swish! Alexienko providing the highlights here in the third quarter. And now Chason starting to drive, but hits a wall, has to kick it back up top. Now a long throw over to Bates. Bates holding it on the right, starts to dribble along the baseline, and he runs out of room, almost loses the ball, but kicks it to an open man on the wing. Shot no good, rebound Zingarella, and now Zingarella draws the foul. Wild sequence that was. Bates was trying to come around the baseline. His first attempt at a pass bounced off the bottom of the backboard. He managed to throw a pass out to Tucker McDonald, but the shot was missed. Now the first of two free throws from Zingarella is hit, 42-30. As Brookline brings in a couple subs, Jalen Haynes and Jake Edwards replacing Stanton and Perez. A 12-point lead right now for Brookline with 2:46 left in the third period. And Anthony Zingarella at the line. Makes 2 of 2. That foul was Perez's third on the day, as now an attempted press break. A weird sequence of deflections, and Alexienko ends up with it. Passes to an open Haynes. Haynes from three, no good. Battle for the boards is won by Edwards. Edwards almost travels, but gets the ball away to Haynes. Now over to Hayes. Hayes drives in, blocked. Now running in transition is McDonald. McDonald for the shot, no good. Rebound, and the putback by Adam Bates. And now Brookline fails to bust the press this time. It's stolen away. Now a pass over to Zingarella. Zingarella drives in, goes for the shot, no good, but draws the foul. Brookline has got to do a better job at breaking through that press. Mazzara just a little too hesitant on that one, and he got trapped fast. 42-33 now the score in favor of Brookline, as Zingarella is back at the line shooting two again. His first one no good, as that was the third foul of the day against Jake Edwards. 4 fouls on the half for Brookline. Zingarella, second free throw is good. 1 for 2, 42-34. Quick pass to Alexienko. Alexienko has it poked away. McDonald for the lay-in. Misses it, but draws another foul. That's the second on Alexienko, 5th for Brookline. As Tucker McDonald now at the line shooting two. First free throw rolls in, cuts the lead to 7. And now checking in, Perez and Stanton return to the floor, replacing Edwards and Mazzara. If there's one thing that Brookline really needs to work on going forward this season, they need someone who can break a press defense that is not named Devontae Perez. They can't just rely on one guy to be the one that can break a press. Second free throw is good, 42-36. Now the score. And we got a timeout called by Courtney Valentine, who practically ran onto the court to shout timeout to anyone who would listen. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left here in the third. Brookline 42, Wachusett 36. So now the Brookline scoring lead shared between Devani Perez and Andrew Alexienko at 10 points apiece. 7 points from Zach Solom, 6 from Stanton, 5 from Hayes, and 2 apiece from Haynes and Mazzara. Coach Courtney Valentine talking to his team. Probably telling them, you know, we can't afford all of these turnovers. You know, Wachusett's come back in this game once before. Brookline led by 10 at the end of the first period, and that lead got cut to 2 before they finally made some adjustments and answered back. Now, it really was just like a minute ago that Brookline led by 12. And I mean, a minute on the game clock, a few minutes in real time because we had a lot of clock stoppages due to foul calls. Because bad turnovers against the full court press resulted in some fouls around the hoop. As now Brookline inbounds, just barely gets it to Haynes. Haynes dribbling, throws it to Stanton, and now across half court to Perez. Perez now dribbling with it along the right wing. Gives it over to Hayes. Hayes coming in from the baseline. Throw to Alexienko. Now to an open Haynes. Haynes from 3. No good. Rebound. Poked at, but he manages to get the pass away to Zingarella. Zingarella running with it. Steps around. Goes for the lay-in. A nice European step by Anthony Zingarella. Cuts the lead to 4. 42-38. Throw over to Alexienko. Alexienko dribbling with it. Spins, backing down, turning around, and a travel against Alexienko. As Zach Solom checks in, replacing Jalen Haynes. This is the second 8-0 run of the night so far for Wachusett, as the score is 42-38. Up top, it's Bates giving it over to McDonald on the wing. McDonald starts to drive in. Ball is poked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Wachusett. Now coming in for Brookline is Taj Horowitz. He replaces Andrew Alexienko. McDonald will be looking around for the inbound for the Mountaineers. McDonald throws a long one. Back out to McGeary. McGeary starts to drive in, and he travels. Solid defense down low by Stanton forced McGeary to make a mistake. Now against the press, the inbound goes to Perez. Perez dribbling with it. Pass is deflected, but it's a kickball. Play like that might make Brookline nervous. Now inbound back to Perez. Perez holding with it. A long pass to Solom. Solom back to Hayes. Hayes holding it. Looking around. Starts to drive in. Turns around. Pass to Solom. Solom drives in. Nice movement by Zach Solom. 44-38. Bates passes it over to McDonald. McDonald dribbling with it. Looking around. Got a bit of a lane. Goes in. Tries to spin. How did he hit that one? And I think they called a foul on Perez. Oh no, it's on Mikhail Hayes, which all things considered, Brookline is probably happy about. First foul on Hayes, 6th foul on Brookline. Perez with 3 fouls already, he really couldn't afford another. (44-30). 44-40, excuse me. A 4-point lead for Brookline, 30.6 seconds left here in the third period. McDonald at the line for the and one, and he hits it. It's a 1-basket lead for Brookline, and the inbound just gets to Hayes. Hayes is sprinting with it, throws it out to Solom. Solom for 3, hits it! A big 3 from Zach Solom. just when they needed it. Chason dribbling with it. Gives it over to Zingarella. Zingarella has less than 10 seconds, starts dribbling, spins again, tries to draw the foul, doesn't get it, but he does get the bucket. And Brookline can't get the inbound off in time, and that's going to end the third period. 47-43, the score still in favor of Brookline. But so far, Brookline has only outscored Wachusett in one quarter. It's been a lot of chipping away at the lead from Wachusett with these big runs, but then they just can't finish them, and eventually Brookline gets a response. A big three-pointer from Zach Solom that now has him with the team lead at 12 points today. Brookline now with 3 players in double figures. But they are certainly hoping for something a little more decisive come the final period. And the foul count, as again, that's been a point of interest in this game. 6 fouls so far for Brookline, 3 for Wachusett. Early on, Wachusett was being called for fouls, but now it's a 6-3 difference with Brookline just 1 foul away from giving bonus free throws to the Mountaineers. And I will say, I still maintain my philosophy, respect the refs. We need them for these games to happen, but even I'll admit there's been a few whistles that have been some head scratchers. I'm not so stubborn in my philosophy that I won't cop to that. Wachusett will get the opening inbound for the 4th and final quarter here at Schluntz Gym. 47-43, the Brookline lead. Inbound goes to Aiden McGeary. McGeary looking around. Couldn't decide on a pass quick enough, and it's poked away, recovered by Horowitz. Great on-ball defense by Devani Perez, as he now gets the ball and fires from 3, no good. Rebound by Chason. Chason running with it. He breaks the trap, throws to McDonald. McDonald kicks it outside. Fire from 3 and hits it. Anthony Zingarella cuts it to 1. Hayes dribbling with it. Gets it across half court to Alexienko. Pass is broken up and intercepted. Wachusett dribbling in transition. This is Zingarella, stripped by Perez. No foul. Recovered by Zingarella. Given back out to Chason. Now to McDonald. All the way around. Firing from the corner. Bates no good. Rebound by Hayes. It's a 1-point ball game now as Zach Solom dribbles with it. Passes to an open Horowitz. Decides not to shoot and gives it out to Solom. Solom dribbles in. Fires for the long 2 and draws the foul. Jake Chason called for the foul on Zach Solom. Some wild sequences to start this quarter. Anthony Zingarella with the 3 cut the lead to just 1 point. But now Zach Solom draws the shooting foul on Jake Chason. That'll be his 3rd, Wachusett's 4th. Big pair of free throws here for the co-captain. And he front rims the first. And we got a sub coming in for Wachusett. Number 4, Theo Stangus, checks back into the game, replacing Aiden McGeary. Second free throw from Solom is also no good. Rebound by Chason. Chason dribbling, and a foul away from the ball, I think. And that foul's on Perez. 4 fouls for Perez, and Brookline is in the bonus. Perez not happy with the call. That was an off-ball foul, saying he got too tangled up with number 11, Adam Bates. Wachusett got a little confused about who was going to take the free throws. I think Chason thought he would take it since he was the one with the ball, but Bates was the one who got fouled, so he'll be shooting the 1-and-1. First, in and out, no good. Rebound by Horowitz. Still a 1-point lead for Brookline, but it's hanging by a thread. Haynes gives it to Horowitz. Horowitz looking around, throws it up top to Hayes, just barely completes that pass. Hayes now dribbles in, fakes and steps in, doesn't hit the floater. Rebound by Chason. Chason dribbles through traffic. No, he doesn't. Recovered by Alexienko. Alexienko for the layup, and he hits it. Big bucket for Andrew Alexienko, his 12th point of the day. 49-46. Zingarella dribbles, kicks it out to Stangus. Stangus for 3, no good. Rebound by Hayes, and Hayes running with it. And we got a timeout called. That timeout called by Brookline. That shot by Stangus, had it gone in, would have tied it. (49-46) is the score, and with that last bucket, Alexienko now sharing the team lead in points with 12, along with Zach Solom. And they really had to scrap for that one. Basically, 3 defenders were swarming around Chason after he got the rebound off the missed floater by Mikhail Hayes. And the loose ball happened to go to Alexienko, who finished. And I was almost a little surprised he didn't get an and one on that one, as that was very close on Chason defensively. (49-46) the Brookline lead. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left here in regulation. Wachusett shooting the bonus free throws through the rest of this regulation period. Meanwhile, the Mountaineers still have 3 fouls to give before Brookline starts shooting the bonus. Coming out of the Brookline timeout, Brookline will now get the inbound from the side. Horowitz inbounds to Hayes. Hayes brings it up. Looking around. Pass to Horowitz. Now Horowitz looking around, trying to find an option. Manages to get it to Solom. Solom up top to Alexienko. Alexienko dribbles, runs out of room, kicks it over to Haynes. Haynes loses the ball. It's poked away by Chason, and he recovers, goes for the layup, and does not hit it. Defended by Haynes. Alexienko recovers the rebound, throws it to Horowitz. Now back to Hayes. Hayes dribbling with it. Mikhail Hayes looking around. Decides to pass it over to Haynes. Haynes throws it over to Alexienko. Alexienko looking around, throws a long pass to Haynes. Haynes from 3, no good. Those shots have not been falling. And now in transition, here's Zingarella. Goes for the shot, and this one hits. 49-48 off the fast break layup by Zingarella. Brookline again leads by just 1. Hayes dribbling with it, over to Solom. Solom dribbling up top, starts dribbling, kicks it out to Horowitz. Horowitz drives in, tries to pass it out, and we got a foul call against Horowitz. So that's the second foul on the day for Taj Horowitz, 8th for Brookline. No bonus on offensive fouls, I guess, as Devani Perez checks back in, replacing Jalen Haynes. Chason holding it, floats it over, poked at, and a foul. Was there a... Oh no, it's a timeout by Wachusett. That wasn't a foul call. That was confusing. Four minutes and 43 seconds left here in the fourth. Brookline's undefeated streak in trouble. 49-48, the slim Warriors lead. And I'll tell you, if there's one thing that's really been tough for Brookline, it's got to be the lack of production off the bench. Just 4 points from Brookline's second unit so far today. They've had to rely heavily on their starters for offensive production, and you can see the struggles even in the last couple of possessions. You know, a missed 3, you know, a 3-shot not taken resulting in an offensive foul. So now coming back out, Brookline is almost all starters. As Wachusett gets ready to inbound off of the timeout, they trail by just 1. Inbound to Zingarella. Zingarella's been having a very productive day today for the Mountaineers as he hands off to McDonald. McDonald throws it down to a cutting player, goes for the layup. Wachusett has the lead. That was Jake Chason. And almost turned over, but they get it to Alexienko. Now to Horowitz. Horowitz across half court, almost gets trapped, but throws it to Alexienko. Alexienko holds it, kicks it out to Perez. 50-49, the score in favor of Wachusett. Perez kicks it out to Alexienko. Alexienko from 3. Big 3 from Andrew Alexienko. Brookline retakes the lead immediately. Wachusett dribbling with it. 52-50, the score. McDonald manages to get a pass away to Chason. Now to the corner, firing from the corner. No good. Rebound by Perez. Shot by Theo Stangus. Perez dribbling out of trouble, passes across half court to Hayes. Now over to Solom. Solom running the baseline, hits the floater! 54-50, Brookline answers right when they needed to. A 5-0 run after losing the lead. And now a turnover. Brookline ball! Now Jaden Mazzara checks in, replacing Taj Horowitz. Andrew Alexienko now with a team-leading 15 points, followed very closely by 14 from Zach Solom, as those two just came through with a pair of clutch baskets. 54-50, Mikhail Hayes dribbling with it, almost loses it. Keeps control, still dribbling around, decides to throw it down to Alexienko, kicks it out to Solom. Solom swings it over to Perez. Perez dribbles in, hands it off to Mazzara. Mazzara starts to dribble in and dribbles back out and sends it over to Hayes. Now back out to Mazzara. Now throw down to Alexienko. Alexienko turns around, long jumper, no good. Poked away, Perez tries to fire and no good. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Brookline couldn't find the rim on that one. And now for Wachusett, Theo Stangus checks back in, replacing Aiden McGeary. Inbound to Chason, back to Zingarella, now over to McDonald. McDonald, pass to Zingarella. Zingarella throws away from the trap, gets it to McDonald. Quick pass to Bates. Bates to the corner, intercepted by Alexienko. A give and go back to Alexienko. He runs with it, steps in, poked away, but he draws the foul. That was a great read by Andrew Alexienko. It looked like Adam Bates had a clear path to the hoop, but he tried to throw it to the corner for the three, thinking that Alexienko would crash, and instead he read the pass perfectly and intercepted it, and is now drawn a foul. That foul is on Anthony Zingarella, his first, as Alexienko hits his first free throw. 55-50. Second free throw now for Alexienko. And in and out, no good. Rebound by Wachusett. Chason hands it over, a couple passes, and now it's with McDonald. McDonald dribbling, still in the backcourt, throws a pass through to Chason. Chason looking around, trying not to get trapped, poked away, but he recovers it. Still dribbling, hands it off to Bates, and Bates travels. Wachusett committing costly turnovers here in the closing minutes at a time when they cannot afford them. Solom inbounds to Mazzara. Mazzara throws it back to Solom. Solom almost lost the ball, but gets it away to Alexienko, who then gets it to Mazzara. Mazzara kicks it over to Perez in the corner, runs the baseline, floater, hits it! Devani Perez now with 12 points today. 57-50. Wachusett trying to get across half court. Chason passes to Zingarella. Now over to Bates. Bates dribbling up top. His team now trails by 7. Now pass to Stangus. Stangus along 3. No good. Rebound by Bates. And they lose it out of bounds again. Wachusett making all kinds of costly mistakes down the stretch. Brookline on an 8-0 run since they lost the lead. And a turnover by Brookline. They lost it out of bounds. I'm not sure what happened. Bates throws it down low, recovered, goes for the shot, no good. Offensive rebound, put back and hits it. Tucker McDonald. And a timeout now called by Wachusett. It's a 5-point game, 57-52. For right now, Brookline's leading scorer, Andrew Big Drew Alexienko, 16 points so far. After that is the two co-captains, Zach Solom with 14, Devani Perez with 12. After that, 6 from Jack Stanton, 5 from Mikhail Hayes, and 2 apiece from Jalen Haynes and Jaden Mazzara. It really has had to be Alexienko, Solom, and Perez for much of this second half for Brookline offensively, as they now lead by 5. Some big buckets from those 3. I mean, again, Wachusett took their first lead since, I think maybe they led 2-0 to start the game. They might have hit the first basket. No, they didn't. No, they didn't, because Perez got a 3 to start the game. So yeah, that was the first lead Wachusett had all game at 50-49, and Brookline responded with an 8-0 run. A quick 3 by Alexienko gave them back the lead immediately, which was huge. Then 1 possession later, it was Zach Solom on a running floater that made it a multi-score lead. That was big. Alexienko hit 1 of 2 free throws. And then Perez got a running floater, and that made it 57-49. Or no, 57-50, excuse me. Now 57-52 is the score after the putback shot by Tucker McDonald. Inbound to Alexienko, throwing back to Solom. Solom over to Hayes. Now over to Mazzara. Back to Hayes. Brookline has broken the press. Hayes dribbling in. Running floater. No good. Tries to save it inbounds. No good. Wachusett ball. Inbound goes to Chason. Thrown back to Zingarella. Now to McDonald. McDonald gets trapped but throws it to Zingarella. Zingarella trying to dribble through. Kicks it out to Chason. Chason decides against shooting and now passes it over to Bates. Bates' pass intercepted by Perez. Thrown to Hayes. Hayes in transition. Goes for the layup and he hits it. A huge steal and assist by Devani Perez, and Hayes finished at the hoop for 2. Long rifling pass to Stangus in the corner. Now to Zingarella. Zingarella running in. Poked away again by Perez. Solom recovers it. Gives it to Alexienko. And a timeout is called. You know, if things ended here, Devani Perez would go down as the 3rd highest scorer for Brookline. But man, I wish I was able to keep track of more than points while doing this, because the amount of stats he's gotten across the line has been very impressive. Points, rebounds, assists, and steals. He's been everywhere. David Silberg, Drew's 3 really changed momentum, and you're not wrong. That was a huge, huge 3-pointer, because remember, that was on the very next possession after Wachusett took the lead. You know, if your team doesn't score on the following possession, that could have been a very different outlook. Instead, Brookline now holding a 7-point lead with 50 seconds. You know, I mean, that's the thing. Brookline, so far this season, they haven't gotten the prettiest wins through much of their success. A lot of it's been get a big lead, blow the big lead, but then adjust and bear down and finish strong. Now Solom looking for the inbound off the timeout, and they lose it out of bounds. Wachusett gets the ball back. Remember, this game is not over. It's only a 3-basket contest. Just under a minute left. Inbound. Now looking for Stangus. Now up top to Chason. Wachusett's got to move faster than this. They're looking for an open look. Dribbling the baseline. Kicks it out to Bates. Now to an open Zingarella. Fires from 3. No good. Rebound by McDonald. Hands it off to Zingarella. Turns around. Back to McDonald in the corner. Runs the baseline. Kicks it outside. Over to Chason. Chason decides not to shoot. And now dribbles in, goes for the layup, hits it, and the foul. And I think that's going to be the 5th foul on Devani Perez, so he's definitely coming out at this point. But no, he's signaling for the coaches to leave him in. That's... And we got a brief break. I think someone might have called a timeout. I'm not sure. That's the 5th foul on Devani Perez today. 9th for Brookline. 24 seconds left on the clock, as that possession probably took longer than Wachusett would have liked. They've cut it down to 5. A free throw after this would cut it down to 4. But they cannot have every possession taking 24 seconds. Because they've only got 24 seconds left, and regardless of the result of this free throw, they're going to be down 2 possessions. So indeed, Perez is taken out for Jaden Mazzara. And one attempt from Jake Chason. And it's good. 59-55, a long pass to a wide-open Mikhail Hayes. Hayes for the lay-in, no good. Rebound by Horowitz. Horowitz draws the foul. That's going to be second foul on Adam Bates, and that's 6 now for Wachusett. 1 more, and Brookline will be shooting the bonus. 18.7 seconds left. Throw into Mazzara. Mazzara holding it in the corner and draws the foul. That'll now be 7 fouls on Wachusett. So now the 1-and-1 for Mazzara. Theo Stangus checks back into the game for the Mountaineers as Mazzara gets ready to shoot the 1-and-1. That foul was called against Tucker McDonald, his 3rd. 59-55. First of the 1-and-1. No good. Rebound Wachusett. Being defended, they got a break across half court, gets the pass to Chase on, now to the corner. Zingarella drives in, kicks it out. Fire from 3 from Stangus, in and out, no good, and knocked out of bounds by Mazzara. Just 4.1 seconds left. Brookline leads by 2 baskets. In all likelihood, Brookline is going to win this ball game, but we do have to play out the last 4 seconds. Throw in is deflected, recovered by Zingarella. Fires the shot, no good and no foul. And that's going to end the ball game. The final score here at Schlentz Gym. The Brookline Warriors 59, the Wachusett Mountaineers 55. Brookline remains undefeated at 6-0. But credit has to be given to Wachusett for the repeated comeback attempts they made. This was not an easy game for Brookline. But again, like they've been doing, they found ways to win, and they remain undefeated. Final scoring stats for the Warriors. Andrew Alexienko led the way on the score sheet with 16 points, including perhaps the biggest shot of the game, with that 3-pointer right after losing the lead. Zach Solom second with 14 points, and he also had a pretty big basket in that response run after losing the lead. Devani Perez with 12 points. Mikhail Hayes had 7 points. Jack Stanton with 6. And Jalen Haynes and Jaden Mazzara finished with 2 apiece. So Brookline will have plenty to talk about in their post-game meeting, plenty to think about as they get ready for Sunday's afternoon game at Brockton. But at the end of the day, they got the win. They answered when they needed to, and they came away on top on the scoreboard. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Again, if you have enjoyed the broadcast, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all of our upcoming live streams, including this Sunday's game at Brockton. I will be there. If you're watching this after the fact, leave your comments in the comments section. Check out the description of the video where you can find information about our paying sponsors, Music Go Round and Harvest Wealth Management. Be sure to show them some love. You know, if sponsors do well sponsoring my broadcasts, then that helps me get consistent sponsorship, and then I can keep my prices low for the teams so I can keep doing this. You know, you can also find information on our local charity, the Brookline Food Pantry. They definitely deserve some love. I don't think I need to explain that too much. You can find the URL for my personal website, jessesports.com. You can find out more about me, the services I can provide for your favorite team, and how you can commission me for those services. You can also email me directly My email address is in the description of this video as well, jgms88@gmail.com. And you can also find a link to my Instagram account where I like to post highlights from previous games I have covered. And aside from that, I think that about wraps up our business here. From Schlunt's Gym on the campus of Brookline High School in Brookline, Massachusetts, I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.